Hey guys, welcome back to VSG Tea
with Sammi and Bre.
Cheers. Yay.
All right. So today we have our very special guest, the sleeve dietitian, aka Jamie. So welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, we are so excited. This is I'm excited for this one because you're a wealth of knowledge and people are coming in hot with the questions and we have questions. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your Instagram page?
Awesome. So I'm Jamie. I started my Instagram page before I had my VSG. So I struggled with my weight my entire life. I got diagnosed with PCOS when I was 14. And my struggles with my weight actually is what led me to become a dietitian. So I was 3.5 years into my schooling to be an RD before I decided to have weight loss surgery. So when I was in the pre-op stages, I started to make my Instagram page, not as anything nutrition or dietitian related at the time. I didn't tell anyone that was what my career path was. I just genuinely started my page because I was looking for support. I was scared. I was overwhelmed. I felt very alone on this journey. So I started to look towards the weight loss surgery community on Instagram. So I've been documenting my journey since day one. My page has evolved over time because I was about 6 months out from surgery, 6 or 7 months out from surgery. When I passed my RD exam, I was done with school, I was officially credentialed. And it was around that time, especially when I was celebrating that I was getting a lot of messages from people saying, oh, can you help me with my nutrition? Or, oh my God, you're a dietitian and you had weight loss surgery and you understand what I'm going through. Can you help me? And it was always my dream to get to do my own coaching and, have my own business. So people were reaching out for help and I just didn't have systems in place. I didn't feel comfortable just, you have to have platforms and ways to coach people across state lines and that sort of thing. So I started doing a lot of research. I ended up getting my LLC. I ended up starting my own business. And then since then, I've transitioned out of my full-time clinical job to now this is what I do full-time for a living is I help coach women pre and post-op from weight loss surgery. Really my big thing is focusing in on the habits that surround weight loss surgery to be successful long-term. And all the realities of weight loss surgery. So my page is a mixture of my personal journey and Instagram page and a mixture of all of my nutrition stuff.
Do you recommend keto?
So I am definitely what I call a do what works for you dietitian. If someone comes to me and says, Jamie, I love keto. This is my lifestyle. This is what I love to eat. I love eating this way. I feel as a dietitian, it's my job to present the pros and cons of not just keto, but any diet and let you make an educated choice. And based on that choice, help guide you in the most healthful way. Keto there's a huge hype, not just in the weight loss surgery community, but in our world in general. And the reason for that is keto does produce quick. So keto is short for ketosis. So ketosis is a state that your body goes into when you severely restrict carbohydrates. So the way it works is our bodies really love sugar, and also glucose is what it's called in our body for fuel. Our bodies love sugars and carbs to energize us. However, if we don't eat carbs, it doesn't mean we just can't function. We have other mechanisms within our body that will keep us alive, keep us using energy. So what keto does is it really manipulates your metabolism where you aren't using sugar or glucose for energy because you've restricted it so much. And in return, you force your body to use your own fat stores for fuel, which is why you see this really quick, rapid, weight loss. You use up all the glucose in your body. The glycogen stores is stored glucose or stored energy. You use up all that. And then there's nothing else that your body can use other than your fat stores. Now, in theory, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant way to lose weight, right? It's really quick. Mm-hmm. The thing is, when you manipulate your metabolism like that, there are repercussions if you don't stick to that long term. So the thing is, you can't just kind of do keto. You can't be sort of keto or eat a keto food. That's not a thing. Either you are in the state of ketosis where you are restricting carbohydrates so much that you are just burning all your energy stores, or you are not. And what happens is most people are not truly in ketosis, which is why it doesn't truly work that way. The other thing is, as soon as you switch over to eating carbs, which for true ketosis to happen, it's usually 20 grams or carbs less per day. Anything other than that would be more like a low carb diet, but 20 grams or less per day is what really gets you into that state of ketosis. So when you start eating carbs again, your metabolism shifts back to where it was before, that normal we want to use carbs for energy, except because you've manipulated it for so long, your body's like, oh my God, she's feeding me carbs again. Let me hold on to this as long as possible. So a lot of times when we do keto and then we go off of keto, what happens is you gain that weight back that you lost usually pretty quickly. And then what happens is your body's kind of like, oh, I know the trick now. Like when you go back to doing keto again, your body holds on to even longer. So a lot of people will report, like if they do keto and then go off and then try and go back, they don't see the same weight loss that they did the first time around. And that's because you've already tricked your body so many times. And the thing with keto, and this is what I ask anyone who comes to me and asks for, I ask them, one, why do you want to do it? If this, and if you claim like this is a lifestyle, like, no, Jamie, like this is truly what I want to do. Like, yes, I want the weight loss, but this can be my lifestyle. My next question is, okay, for Christmas dinner or a holiday dinner, are you eating keto? On vacation, are you eating keto? On your birthday, are you eating keto? Or are you having a cheat day or a cheat meal, or are you on and off the wagon? Because unless on every special occasion or holiday or treat day of your life you're still eating keto, it's not going to be a lifestyle. It's just going to be another diet. And that yo-yo trend is what we want to avoid. So everything's individualized, but for the majority of people, most people cannot live in a state of ketosis, and we weren't ever meant to.
Right.
That's very interesting.
That's definitely too much cheese for me. And my PCOS self. Like, too much dairy.
Yeah, I'm a PCOS girl too, but I love my cheese. But I can't eat just cheese, let's be clear.
Yeah, exactly.
People also don't know the long-term results of keto, especially in the bariatric population.
Mm-hmm.
And, it has the potential to elevate cholesterol levels and triglycerides and that sort of thing. The other really key piece of this is true keto is super low carb, moderate protein, really high fat. And most people who have weight loss surgery are also at higher risk for having to have their gallbladder removed, which breaks down the fat in your body. So you don't want to amplify any problems with your gallbladder either.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
See, I don't have a gallbladder. So.
What?
No, I got mine out before I had weight loss surgery.
What happened?
I got a stone.
Why don't I know about this? I feel offended.
Yeah, back in 2015, I had my gallbladder removed because I was in like severe amount of pain from. I was a big girl, but yeah, I didn't have my weight loss surgery so everyone's always like, you don't ever, and I'm like, no.
It's actually probably a blessing in disguise because not everyone needs it out after weight loss surgery, but so many people do need it out afterwards.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is why, we really shouldn't be on super high fat diets as weight loss surgery patients regardless. So it kind of goes back to that.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we shouldn't. But so for me, like my body cannot handle carbs. You and I have talked about this. Like I just go into like a carb, like overload, my heart rate goes up, I die.
Carb frenzy. A frenzy.
Yes. So for me, I've always been well, keto, but you're totally right. It's like, I was very strict. And then all of a sudden I got less strict and I started incorporating other things. And then I just plateaued. I was like, well, that's it. And then gained a little bit of weight after my tummy tuck. And then it just went all downhill from there. And now I'm struggling. I'm riding the struggle bus so hard. I'm like,
I think a lot of us are. I actually just got my stories and talked about the struggle bus this week. So you're not alone, and I'm not above being on the struggle bus either. And there's definitely a difference between, like I said, true keto, true ketosis, and true keto diets were actually developed for children with epilepsy to prevent seizures because of the way, it's hard to explain, but the way like you get energy to your brain, basically. That's why they created that diet initially, but people caught on to the fact that you lose weight. So it is a prescribed diet, but it was only ever meant for people with neurological disorders, not for weight loss, which is like the side effect of it. But there is, the difference between being strict keto of 20 carbs for less a day, like meat and cheese only, and being lower in carb. And a lot of people find that lower carb diets are actually more sustainable and livable.
That's good. Okay. So then
good to know.
Still got to work on the lower carb part, but we're fine. So anyways, so for people that are going through different stages of VSG, whether they're whether they're 2 months, 3 months, whatever post-op, do you have calorie intake recommendations for that?
I do not. And a lot of people come to me either asking for, okay, I'm a month post-op, how many calories should I be eating? I'm 6 months post-op, I'm 3 years post-op, how many calories? And it doesn't work that way. And a lot of people come to me and they're very frustrated. They're like, Jamie, I went to my dietitian at my dietitian's office and she wouldn't give me a calorie goal. And I think the piece here that we're missing is why we don't give calorie goals. The reason for the calorie goals is it's so variable. Their calorie goals are totally individualized. I just got on my stories last week and talked about this. I'm like, guys, if anyone gives you a calorie goal just based off of this question and like DMs you a calorie goal, you got to run the other way because that is so wild, like so inappropriate. Because when we're talking about calorie needs, it's based on gender, size, BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, which is different for everyone. It's based off of your activity level. There's so many factors that affect calorie needs that even if you do have that type of assessment, they're still not always accurate. And one of the reasons that we don't give calorie goals for someone who's had weight loss surgery, especially right out, is one, you really need to focus on protein and water and focus on the habit changes, not the calories. But let's just say, someone was a month out from surgery and we said, okay, your calorie goal is 1,000 calories. Well, someone might only be able to eat 800 calories and might push their restriction to eat more, whereas someone else might need 1,200 calories and undereat and then fuel that all or nothing binge type mentality. So it's really bad. And the thing is, if calorie counting worked, none of us would have chosen weight loss surgery. Yes, in order to lose weight, we do need to be in a calorie deficit. The first year out of surgery, you're going to be in a calorie deficit regardless, just based on if you are heavy enough to be approved to have surgery, just by having your restriction, you're going to lose weight. You're going to be in a deficit. Long term, what I help people with is building adequate bariatric meal plates and how to pair protein, veggies, and carbs to maximize your restriction. Because once you understand nutrition and which foods are higher in calories and which ones are lower, just by naturally choosing the more dense, lower calorie foods, you'll naturally be in a deficit when you listen to your body and know when you're hungry and full. And it's so much more important to focus on those body cues and focus on hitting your protein and water goals than it is worrying about the calorie number. Because again, it's variable. So like an example is, having, further out when you can eat more, right? If we're eating a ton of like slider foods or like, I don't know, popcorn or cookies, like those go down really easily and you can eat a lot. So your calories are gonna add up very quickly without too much volume. But if we have 3 or 4 ounces of chicken and like half a cup of broccoli, that's very filling for a lot of bariatric patients long term for very low calories. Like I'm talking like under 200 calories for like a meal. So once you learn how to pair different nutrients correctly, you can pretty much have the peace of mind of knowing I'm in a deficit just based off of this versus strictly focusing on that number.
Wow, that's very insightful. That's very helpful. I'm still pretty fresh. Like I'm two months post-op. And I haven't even thought about that before. Like I haven't thought about pairing something together because maybe you're not getting the nutrients that you need over here that you should be getting with this food. I've just been like, okay, struggle bus, like trying to do at least a vegetable, at least, a protein, which has been like super hard. And then like really leaving the starch off the plate, which is even harder.
And so in my bariatric meal plate method, I go through those motions because honestly, the first 6 months out of surgery, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to eat a vegetable or a carb serving with your protein. You're mostly going to need to just focus on that protein goal, which again, if you're focusing on your protein and your water, we already know you're in a calorie deficit and you need to meet those protein needs for so many reasons. But eventually as time goes on, you can add in a carb. And then, eventually as more time goes in, you can do protein and veggie and some other carbs. You can keep adding to the plate, and that's what I do is I help people figure out which increments they need as far as building plates. And it's also way more relatable and realistic to actually think about the foods you're eating than the calories or the number value.
100%. And I think that a lot of and I can speak for myself too, a lot of fresh post-oppers and pre-oppers, we see the OG influencers, my goodness, VSGers in our community, posting what they're eating. And I think that they're confused to think that they can have that right away. Yeah. So whenever I do any of my lives, I always remind my audience, like, you guys, those are OGers. They have lost their weight. We haven't lost our weight yet. Like we have to stay on track.
And one of the things I always say is like, I feel like I can dish out the tough love because I'm not telling people to do anything that I haven't been through or had to do myself. And a couple of weeks ago, I got on and was talking about this. I'm like, guys, I get it. You want those foods, but if you're 3 weeks post-op, we can't be eating cake.
No.
And I was saying, I was like, if you're messaging me, asking me what's the best birthday cake option, my answer is going to be none unless you're more than 6 months post-op, which is, I'm all about balance. But there's a time and place, and I'm really a firm believer in that, is there is a time and place for this post-op diet, but eventually the goal will always be to get back to normal, healthful living. The goal is not to be on a diet for the rest of your life, but there's a time and place, and this journey has phases for a reason, not just to meet protein needs, but to really distance yourself from any of those triggering habits. So we got to trust the process and not skip steps to get there.
Absolutely. I agree.
Have you heard of intuitive eating?
Absolutely. Do you want me to talk about that a little bit more?
Can you? Because I just came across that like last week and I was like, what in the heck is this?
Sounds good.
Right?
So intuitive eating is kind of a foreign concept to people who've been dieting their whole life. So I think this is also worth saying that the field of nutrition dietetics, dietitians have different viewpoints on this. There are your more traditional dietitians who are more regimented and by the national guidelines and all of those things. And then there's a lot of what we call HAES dietitians, which is healthy at every size, where they are much more about like getting rid of diet culture and being in tune with your body and the intuitive eating. The reason I give this out is because it can be very confusing if you come across different dietitian pages and what they're trying to say. I like to think I am somewhere in the middle. I am all about having some structure, especially knowing that time and place for diet, especially after weight loss surgery and knowing your limits. But I'm also all for squashing diet culture and having all foods fit at the right stage of your journey, basically. But intuitive eating is real. And this is where one of my slogans has always been like, honor your hunger, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. And that's what intuitive eating is. It's being very in tune with your body, to know your hunger and full cues, and to honor the things that you want when you want them. So one of the, for people, and I'm talking more so people who have not had weight loss surgery, because again, there is that factor of that diet that we need to follow for some time. But in that time, I hope everyone is learning their new hunger and full signals. But the idea behind intuitive eating is if you allow yourself to have the foods that you want, you're less likely to obsess about them and want to binge on them. So the people who struggle specifically with binge eating or overeating or disordered habits, it's because they overly restrict. So if you, let's say, again, I'm speaking to the average population, not necessarily bariatrics, but if you restrict cookies all the time and you just really want an Oreo and you don't ever let yourself have one, by the time you do let yourself have one, there's a good chance you're eating the whole sleeve. Versus if you allow yourself to have one every single day, knowing that you get to have one every single day. If you want one, chances are you're going to come up on a point when you don't want it. And intuitive eating is really respecting your body and asking yourself and giving yourself that reassurance of being able to choose. Like, do I want this? Yes or no? And some people think that intuitive eating means that you are just going to eat like junk food all the time. And that's not true, because if you give yourself that grace to choose and say, do I want a salad or do I want a burger and fries? If you have that choice and you don't feel like you have to choose a salad each time, sometimes you'll choose the burger, sometimes you'll choose the salad. And that's more so what the intuitive eating means. And that's actually what I really work with my own one-on-one clients on getting there, as long as they are farther enough post-op. Because if we try and heavily restrict our whole lives, especially as we move out from weight loss surgery and our restriction relaxes and we can eat more, if you just restrict yourself every single day, you might find yourself back in that all or nothing mentality. So intuitive eating is just really living and learning to eat versus diet. I hope that answers your question.
1,000%. Now I have a million more. So back in January, before weight loss surgery, I did the Arbonne 30-day diet. Well, John and I extended it to 60 days. John lost 25 pounds. I lost 4.5. Both of us were busting our butts on this diet. But honestly, after these diets, and like even last year, I had like a meal prep coach, I had a chef, and I had a personal trainer. And honestly, after these diets, all I want to do is just like eat whatever I wasn't allowed to eat.
Right.
So what you just said is just like, yeah, when you have the option to be like, okay, am I going to have a burger and fries, or I can go ahead and have a salad instead? Like when you have that option, I mean, it's night and day.
Yeah.
It is. And especially when, and that's something like I work with a lot, like I said, a lot of my own one-on-one people on. It's like, if you tell yourself you're bad because you had a cookie, I'm a horrible person, I had a cookie, like, oh my God, I can't believe I had a cookie, I totally effed up, now I got to start all over Monday. Okay, because I'm starting over Monday, I might as well eat the whole box of cookies and everything else in the fridge, and then I'll start Monday. That's what we don't want. Whereas if you just let yourself have the damn cookie, you probably could avoid that whole process. And that's really where intuitive eating comes in, where we want to get over diet culture telling you can't have things and really just find that overall balance, which I'm a huge advocate for. But again, some of the more intuitive eating dietitians might argue this because obviously we have surgery and there is a diet that we have to follow for medical necessity.
Right. Okay, well, I'm really glad I asked that because I came across that last week and I was like, what in the heck? Like, I've never heard of that before.
I could probably talk about this particular topic for the whole remainder of like the show. Like,
I mean, it is really amazing because like, I feel like I'm getting to that point because I'm at maintenance stage at this point, and I do feel like I listen to myself and I don't restrict. And sometimes I can get my like mindset totally messed up if the scale does not move. And at this point, I'm sorry, but my scale should not be moving because like I'm done, quote unquote. But if it, I swear to God, if it goes up 3 like numbers, I'm just screwed. And then I don't even listen to the whole intuitive eating. Then I'm like, well, now I need to restrict myself and for the next 10 days. And I'll literally text my boyfriend. I'm like, well, now I'm going to do this diet and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, why am I doing that? And I totally mess myself up. So
no, you and me are the same person. I'm a dietitian and I preach this and I know this and I find myself falling into that trap myself. And it's because we panic. I really feel like being morbidly obese your whole life causes some kind of PTSD around weight gain, where you feel this overwhelming need to control it all the time. As if sometimes, and what I've learned recently, because I've had similar things where it's like, okay, I see my own scale creeping up after I've been in maintenance, after I had plastics and I'm bloated and all sorts of other things. And it's like, no, like I need to control this. But the more I'm trying to control it, the more damage I'm doing, because the more I end up fueling my old school all or nothing mentality. And, you know, sometimes the more we fight it, the harder it gets. Whereas if we can just have some grace for ourselves, eat things mindfully, focus on the protein, have a little bit when we want it and move on with our day and stop obsessing over it, that's actually what's healthiest. And again, I need to take my own advice. I can dish it out all day long, but yeah, obsessing over it never helps.
I know. Okay, can we talk about your platform and what you're doing and what that is? Because I really think that we need to hone in on that and let people know, because that is a gem. And please explain.
So we're talking about the tribe, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the tribe has been my passion project for about 8 months now. And I was finally able to launch it last month, which has been the most exciting thing ever. So the tribe is a membership program that I created. TRIBE is an acronym that stands for the Real Insights of Bariatric Eating. And the reason I named it the Real Insights of Bariatric Eating is because I'm all, just like what we're talking about, I'm all about learning to eat and live and not diet. Also, you know, I've been in this weight loss surgery community about a little over 3 years now. And I've gone to a handful of weight loss surgery meetups, and I've met so many of my best friends through this community. And one of the things that you hear a lot when you go to weight loss surgery meetups is find your tribe, find your people. And sometimes you'll go to a weight loss surgery meetup having known people on Instagram, and then you realize there's all these other people. And even though you love the people you connected with on Instagram, there's these other people that are your people too. So that term is really important to me. So that's why I named it the tribe. So what the tribe is it's a membership program. So you pay a subscription fee each month to basically have access to, I have to like list it out because there's so much stuff in there. So one of the reasons there's a couple of reasons I created this. Not only am I so passionate about it, but I've been at a place now for a handful of months where I'm fully booked with one-on-one clients, and there's no way that there's one of me and only so many hours in the day. And I know I can't serve everyone in a one-on-one capacity, but I don't think that should mean that you don't have the resources that you need. What it is it's all of my basically like modules where I have videos of me talking, going through the same coursework that I use with my one-on-one people. All my 14 core value videos, which is mindset, how to build a bariatric plate, protein, veggies, carbs, fiber, fat, how to navigate this and figure out that protein or that portion size that I was talking about based on where you are post-op. With all those videos, there's also guides and handouts and like worksheets to do. Now, on top of that, that's just like the basis. This membership grows each and every month. So every single month, there's a new theme, new topic, new videos, new modules. Every month, we actually have 3 certified personal trainers who all had weight loss surgery also, and they give out workout videos every month. So every month we get anywhere from 9 to 12 new workout videos that you can cast that people who've had weight loss surgery created. I have my 2 VIP members who were past clients of mine who are helping me, and they are leading support groups. They are giving out recipes. They are giving out, their advice as well. I do live Q&As each month. So although I can't work one-on-one with everyone, you have all of my materials, and then I come on at least twice a month to do live Q&As to answer everyone's questions. I have guest speakers each month, which varies greatly depending on what our topics are. It usually goes along with the theme that month. This month's theme is actually regain. And then one of the most amazing parts of this is the community feature. So there's a community feature where you can interact with everyone, ask your questions, talk about your struggles, and we are all there to comment and support. And this month too, the newest feature is all the live support groups. So we have 3 different focused support groups. So every month I'm leading a regain support group, which is virtual. And then one of my VIP members, Mel, she's actually leading a bariatric mommy support group for all the moms with little ones at home. And she is also leading a newly post-op support group. So anyone who is pre-op or in that first year out of surgery can go to her support group as well. And this is only the 2nd month and we are still growing and adding to this. It's been the most beautiful community of women I could have ever imagined. Like everyone in there is so supportive and is helping each other so much. And just one of my biggest fears when creating this, I'm like, okay, am I going to be able to still help people the way I help my one-on-ones? And that fear is gone because the wins and successes that I am seeing every week is incredible. One of the ladies in the tribe just reached out to me to let me know that since she started 5 weeks ago, she's actually lost 5 pounds. Like she's hitting her goals after she's been stalled for like 6 months. So I'm like, ugh, everyone's valuing this. And the thing with the tribe, it's that you really get what you put into it. So as long as you're in there, watching the modules, doing the worksheets, showing up for the live Q&As, holding yourself accountable, then you're going to get a lot out. And this month we're also doing a pop-up challenge. So pop-up challenges I do kind of on the fly. It's like, okay guys, here's our challenge. And then people who participate will be entered into like a raffle to get to have some one-on-one sessions with me. So far it's been going really good. People are hitting their goals and everyone's just supporting each other. And this has just been my dream, like I said, passion project for months.
Like you have absolutely like lit up just speaking about it. Like you have so much passion behind it and that's so exciting.
It's just, there's a gap in the community. Again, there's a lot of things I forget. We also have a therapist who is in the community as well. She came on as a guest speaker and now she's going to be on every single month. Her name's Colleen. She had weight loss surgery and she's a therapist because as we know, the mindset is huge. She's also leading emotional eating support groups starting in December. So, where else can you go after weight loss surgery where you have a registered dietitian, you have certified personal trainers and a therapist, all of whom had weight loss surgery to support you and give you the community and the answers and resources you need. Because so many people, I experience this myself, like you leave your bariatric center, you never hear from them again. Or if you do, it's for like, check my blood work or whatever. And you don't have the support or the guidance or anyone to go to when you have questions. So then you're fumbling around Instagram, searching hashtags, not sure who's and who's not. Right. And I just really am very passionate about giving people legitimate credentialed information because as much as I know every person just wants to help and share their experience, not everyone has the ability to give legitimate nutrition advice or mental health advice or workouts. And I think every person's journey is beautiful and important and has something to say. And I think if you're, in this community, if you're an influencer, if you have something to provide, that's amazing. But everyone does need to be in their own scope. And there needs to be a place where people can say, okay, I know everyone in this one platform has the education to give me the advice that I need right now. And that's really where I felt there was a gap in the in the weight loss surgery community and for after weight loss surgery, like where can you go to get these resources?
100%. And that's kind of why we started VSG Tea as well, because we didn't see, you know, people weren't uploading videos and like talking about
education,
the, you know, the struggles and the plastic surgery and all of that stuff. It was mainly like, and I don't mean harm by this, but it was mainly like, look at me afterwards. This is my before and this is my after, and this is how I got here. And like, that was it. So then when we
don't see the struggle in between or the process, you just see the before and after and wonder why you don't look like the after yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I come on when I'm having a bad day. That's why I go onto stories, and I get so many people who like write back almost right away, and they're just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for posting this. Yeah, it's so important. So Jamie, where can people go to sign up for the tribe?
So if they want to sign up for the tribe, they can message me. I normally have the link in my bio, but right now I'm actually giving out something for free. I have my free bariatric barista guide because I love coffee and I'm really passionate that you can make, you know, your passions realistic after weight loss surgery. So I may or may not have put together a 20-page coffee guide because I'm that passionate about coffee. So if you want my 20-page coffee guide, go to the link in my bio. But that's only going to be up for the next week, and then I'm putting the tribe link back up. But you can always message me for it. And one of the things that I would really, really love to do is for all the VSG Tea viewers is I would love to offer you a discount code if you want to share it with everyone as well. Normally the membership is $67 per month, but I would love to offer it for the first month, $57 to get $10 off. So I'm happy, you know, Sammi Bre, to share with you guys my link and the code, and then you guys can post it on your pages as well if you'd like.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I really want this community, like I said, I really just want the support and the guidance to be accessible to everyone.
Right.
Absolutely.
And as someone like you, okay, let's say you didn't have myself or the community or your page or whatever, but someone like you who's freshly sleeved, this is incredible. And I really, I do believe that because I didn't search hashtags on Instagram. I didn't even know that the Instagram community, weight loss community was a thing for a very, very, very long time. So for me, if I would have had something like this, I guarantee you that it would have saved me from getting very, and I would have had way more resources and so much more information. So I bow down to you. I think this is incredible. And I love that you're doing this because you're right. This is a huge gap and you're filling it, sister. So
thank you. It's just, it's
my heart.
Huh?
That's exciting.
Thank you. And I know, like, when I was out of surgery, until I found the weight loss surgery community on Instagram, all I had was Facebook support groups. And we know how those go. You post one thing and you're attacked and you don't have anyone who, and that's, I also have like really strong community guidelines and rules in my community where if you are not respectful or, you know, being kind, you are immediately removed and banned. I have a zero tolerance policy for any form of negativity or bullying. So if someone asks a question, either you respond with being genuine and kind, or you don't respond at all.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, you're so positive, and like you've been so wonderful for me to follow, for our followers to follow. And I've just learned so much already in just this short amount of time. So I just like thank you so much for just doing what you do and just keeping us educated.
Thank you for having me. And it's, you know, for anyone watching this too, like even if it takes me a couple days, like I always answer each and every DM I ever get. And if you have a nutrition question, I will always answer or give you the resource or point you in the right direction. Cause that's, again, like my biggest mission is to give that legitimate information. So even if it takes a couple days, like I will always answer your nutrition questions and make sure that you feel good about it. So if anyone does have other questions, you can always reach out, DM me, email me, any of those things.
Love that.
Yay. Sounds good. Well, we're so excited for your new platform and to spread the word.
Thank you so much.
With everyone, because it is, like I said, it's the missing little puzzle piece to the gap.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to just watch everyone grow within the tribe. Like again, everyone will join at different stages. It's membership, so you can subscribe or unsubscribe whenever you choose. But for those who I know will stay in it long term, and the ones I already see putting in the work, to see them already progress, like I can't wait to see what the next 5-6 months looks like through the holidays, through the winter, just to see everyone really thrive and build that healthy relationship with food again, and start to hit their goals. And that's why I do this. It's so beautiful.
Aww. Yeah, you're beautiful.
You are.
Well, thank you for having me. This was amazing.
This was wonderful. If you guys want to follow Jamie, go at the Sleeve Dietitian on Instagram.
Yes. And hit her up for nutrition advice. She'll answer your DMs.
Yeah, she will. We won't, but she
just opened the gate to a whole flood of things.
No, I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
It's fine.
1,000 DM requests, guys.
I'm a little backed up recently. We know why.
Exactly.
All right, my friend. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great. Thank you.
Thank you.